Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon-Tony. I'm told a truck accident in Missouri led to the escape of 13 cattle.
Tony Kornheiser, I saw that. It's a lead story on MooTube. I sort of like that, MooTube.
Yeah.
I don't think that's funny. I think that's funny.
Speaking of escape, you see these videos where people are so dumb, they stand in front of like moose and they're taking selfies and the moose just plows and bam! It doesn't try to go after him anymore. It's a lesson. It's a brushback pitch.
Do you know why? Because that's what moose do. That's what they do. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Heisman gets handed out on Saturday. The NFL has some big matchups on Sunday, and Lane Kiffin has his return date to Ole Miss. But we begin today with last night's Thursday game, in which the Atlanta Falcons scored 15 points in the last 9:37 of the game and beat Tampa Bay 29-28, knocking Tampa Bay out of first place in that division and making Todd Bowles very angry. Let's watch and listen.
It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. You gotta care enough where the hurts. You gotta care enough where it hurts. It gotta mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? Well, you can't sugarcoat that. It was inexcusable, and there's no answer for it. There's no excuse for it. It's what you tell them in the life. Even in the mirror.
Did you kids all get that? Bowles went on to say the coaches have done all they can and the players need to hold each other accountable. Wilbon, are you okay with Bowles blaming his players for last night's loss?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it may be true, first of all. And then, but there are three, my entire reaction to this is built around, like you and I, decades in locker rooms and decades with coaches, not only in that moment, but then we got to listen to them later. When they calmed down a little bit and you knew there were three possible results. One, you get to them and they immediately flip their behavior 180 and they bring it. Two, they hate you and you lose the locker room entirely. Three, management fires you. So as long...
2 out of the 3 aren't good.
No.
2 out of the 3
Am I wrong on this?
No, you're not wrong.
And you got to accept the consequences, and he does.
So, okay. I have been around Todd Bowles a lot, going back to when he played here in Washington, D.C. I never saw anything like that. He wasn't screaming or anything. He was hating his players. That was the kind of moment that if you had asked Todd Bowles, as they once asked another Tampa Bay coach, John McKay, how do you feel about your players' execution, he would have answered in the affirmative.
Yes.
Look, this was a really bad loss. Tampa Bay has had a bunch of really bad losses this year. They were up 14 in the fourth quarter at home. They didn't give up 2 scores. They gave up 3 scores.
Against a team that has been maybe the most disappointing team in the league
whole year.
This year.
Yeah. The defense of Tampa Bay allowed a 4th and 14. Atlanta somehow converted a 3rd and 28 into a first down, and Kirk Cousins looked like he did 10 and 12 years ago. So do you understand that Atlanta had 19 penalties and still won the game? That's a bad loss.
Turnovers that weren't turnovers
That's a bad
because
loss.
They should have been recovered by Tampa, loose balls, where like 6 players were around and they didn't get them.
They can win the division.
By beating Carolina twice.
You beat Carolina twice. Now, I wouldn't bet on them today.
No.
But if you beat Carolina twice, you win the division.
Todd Bowles is somebody we like, and as you said, have known for a long time. I root for him. Do we think this is going to work, or do we think he's going to wind up wearing not the creamsicle, but something else next year?
Let me ask you. Let me show you this. That says at the bottom, question. You think Todd Bowles will coach this team next year? I don't know.
It's got to work, right?
Yes. I don't know.
It's got to work. Man. Let's move to this weekend's eye-catching NFL games. The AFC East leading Patriots host Josh Allen and the division rival Bills. One-headed quarterback Justin Herbert leads his Chargers into Kansas City, where the Chiefs are in desperation mode. The NFC Central leading Cheeseheads are at the AFC West leading Broncos, and the 10-3 Rams host the 8-5 Lions. Tony, which game intrigues you the most this weekend?
If I'm going to be honest here, I'm going to tell you that the game that intrigues me the most is Seattle and the Colts. Because I don't believe that a 44-year-old quarterback, Phillip Rivers, is actually going to play that game. If he plays that game, I'm going to watch. You know how I'm going to watch, Mike? Like you're watching a horror
movie.
Yeah, I'm put my hand in front of my face, but I'm going to watch. So the two games to me that seem the most important to me are the Bills at New England and the Rams and the Lions. The Bills, to me, if Buffalo beats New England in New England, it conjures up two images to me. One is that the Bills could actually finally go to the Super Bowl. Because Baltimore and Kansas City don't seem to be on that road. Don't seem to be on that road. And the second thing it would say to me is that the Patriots really have had an easy schedule. They're 11-2. They have only beaten three teams that right now have a winning record. So, I mean, to me, that would be consequential. The Bills may not win the division, but you would think they were better. The other game can be really critical. If the Lions lose that game, they are likely out of the playoffs. That would surprise me, Mike, because I think that they are a possible juggernaut. But what is true is that the whole of that team is not as good as the sum of the parts. It's not, doesn't exceed the sum of the parts.
Their window's going to close shut.
And if the Rams lose, they might fall out of the #1 NFC seed. They might have to go on the road in the playoffs. I don't think they want to go to Seattle or Lambeau. I don't think they do. So I am thinking that game, actually, there's more at stake in that game than in the Bills game.
I got one game that you didn't mention. Well, first of all, the game I'm most intrigued with is my own game, is the Bears hosting the Browns. And Myles Garrett, is he going to get like 4 sacks? I hope not. Break the record. He could break the record this weekend with a Buffalo performance, and he can because he's Myles Garrett. But the game, other than that, is the Cheeseheads in Denver. I mean, Denver has won something like 14 straight games at home.
Is that right?
The Cheeseheads go in there talking about Love being an MVP candidate. They go in riding high, sort of, after beating the Bears, but at home last week. And if they win this game, if they beat the team that is right there challenging for the 1 seed in the AFC with a couple of weeks to go, the Packers have every reason to be chesty. So I'm certainly rooting against them because the Bears could be back in the #1 seed if Detroit and Denver win their games and the Bears win theirs. So there's a lot going on with that division. My eyes are on that division,
and I understand
first and foremost.
And neither of us have mentioned Kansas City.
Because they're done.
But that's it. If they lose, I believe they're mathematically eliminated.
Yeah, but they're done anyway.
Can you imagine the playoffs without Patrick Mahomes, given what we've seen the last 8 years?
8, 9.
Right? Really? Let's turn to the Heisman Trophy. As we know, the 4 finalists who will be in New York tomorrow night for the presentation are Fernando Mendoza of Indiana, Diego Pavia of Vanderbilt, Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame, and Julian Sayin of Ohio State. That's 3 quarterbacks and a running back. Wilbon, Mendoza is the odds-on favorite to win. In your mind, is he a lock?
Close to it, yeah. Yeah, it's easy for me to root for a kid from Vanderbilt because I root for Vanderbilt anyway. And it would be great, but I know that these straw polls have appeared to think that this suggests that it's going to be close. I don't know that it's going to be all that close. It just seems to me, and I used to vote. I voted for Heisman Trophy for 20 years. I helped select the voters for a few years. I just think Mendoza, Tony, he's the guy who's the quarterback of the only undefeated team.
Yeah.
So I got no problem with any of them. I'm just going to say this, and I don't have my glasses, but I think I can read this. This is not like in 1982 when Elway, Herschel Walker, and Eric Dickerson were 3 finalists. And in 81, the previous year, just 1 year earlier, when Marcus Allen, who else was in this? McMahon, Herschel, and Dan Marino.
Who you've called just a passer.
No, the greatest passer. Not the greatest quarterback. Not even in this discussion to me. Passing and quarterback are different things. Yeah. Those years stand alone. This is not that. It is, right?
I would say that most people in America had not heard of all 4 of these people going into this
until
year.
like week 6, maybe.
So, but I would vote for Mendoza. I'm going to go back to a few weeks back when Indiana made that great comeback at Penn State. Yeah. When that kid made the most spectacular catch at the back of the end zone. And the next time we were on this show, I sat here and I said to you, that looked like a Heisman moment for Mendoza.
Yeah.
Like, let's look at Indiana's had a life-changing season. As you say, they're the only unbeaten team. They beat Ohio State for the first time since 1988. I want to get these dates right. They won the Big Ten outright for the first time since 1945. No, 1945. And they have a playoff game in the Rose Bowl, I believe. It'll be their first time in the Rose Bowl since 1968. So to me, you reward Cignetti, you make him coach of the year, and you reward Mendoza by giving him the Heisman. Pavia, the case I would make, he's got more passing yards than Mendoza in one fewer game, and Vanderbilt's not a football factory.
Had a historic season itself. Vanderbilt.
Just like Indiana.
Yes.
And I could make a case for Jeremiah Love because he's got 21 touchdowns in 12
games.
I know you hate Notre Dame,
I don't hate
but
him.
He may be better at his position than the quarterbacks.
He had a great season.
I can't make a case for the Ohio State kid at this point. I can't. But those three I certainly could.
Well, they lost one game. Ohio State was in there.
Yeah, they lost to Indiana. I mean, I think that affects voting. Yeah, let's take a break. When we return, Lane Kiffin and LSU open SEC play with a trip to Ole Miss next season. It's time to have words with Wilbon. What's first?
It's blank that LSU will travel to Ole Miss to open conference play next season.
It is spectacular. It almost feels like the SEC arranged this because they did.
Yeah.
Because they did. The date will be September 19th. It's going to get the highest rating that any Mississippi game has ever had, unless in the next 2 weeks, Lane Kiffin leaves LSU and goes to Alabama. Right, that's the only thing that would make it bad. Look, these two teams play every single year. They are permanent opponents, right? The SEC could have done this in October, could have done it in November, but then the drama of it is dissipated by then. This way, you get the narrative straight out, and it's all about Lane Kiffin, Kiffin. And if you think you have heard boos before, get a ticket to this game because the noise in Oxford will be so loud that it could waken William Faulkner if that's where he's buried.
I think he's buried there, right? And because of all those things you said, it's perfect.
Yeah, it is.
That's my word. It can't get any better. This is what you need or you want, a game of some significance. We can't know what the standings will be. They won't have started the CFP ratings, rankings won't be out yet. No. So you put Lane Kiffin, you know what, Tony? That will be the most emotional game in the modern history, I guess, of Ole Miss football.
Ole Miss, I would think.
I mean, now Archie's been a while.
I would think so.
So this has got to be.
Eli went there, but it's not.
Yeah, but Eli, I don't even remember any games that Eli was there.
It's not this. It's Kiffin.
This is so good. And so let's give the SEC credit.
Yeah.
I take a shot at conferences when they do the wrong things.
They're not playing the Citadel in this one. They're playing each other.
No, this is what should happen. And by the way, they're going to play each other in a string of times, apparently. So we'll see how old Lane Kiffin's around. Yeah, but you have to group them so they play X number of years because there's so many teams in these conferences now. They're all super conferences. You can't just play the same team every year.
I agree. But this is good for the SEC.
Yes, it is great for the SEC.
What's next?
Lindsey Vohn's win in the downhill today was blank.
My word is Rivers-like. Lindsey Vonn is 41 years old. She has been out of skiing for 5 years. That is not dissimilar to Phillip Rivers. In fact, Mike, 41 in skiing may be older than 44 in football. I'm not sure one way or another.
Started at 17.
Here's what Rivers can do. Rivers can throw the ball away. Rivers can take a knee. Rivers can hand the ball off. Here's what Lindsey Vonn can do. She can go straight down the mountain because that's how you get home. That's why it is called the downhill at this point. If she's trying out for the Olympics in Cortina on a course that I believe she has 12 wins on. And this win she had today, her first win since 2018. Let's see Rivers do that.
Yeah, Tony, look, I agree. And to do it, my word is bionic.
Okay.
She's got like titanium knees and stuff.
Got titanium
knees. She's got, look, Lindsey Vonn, the nerve, the guts that it takes, the actual courage is amazing. But she wouldn't have been able to do this stuff 20 years ago because science and technology wouldn't have allowed it, but it does now.
Right.
And so she can do this.
They're the craziest people in the world.
It's unbelievable.
Downhill races. Come on.
Just inside baseball. You and I have gone to these places that they're named, and we have watched and stood at the bottom of the hill, top and bottom. What frightens you more than watching downhill?
Nothing. They appear to be going 400 miles an hour on a solid sheet of ice, and then every once in a while they fall off the mountain.
Completely off.
They're into space.
Yeah.
They're launched.
And they tend to just get up and walk off, and you can't believe it. So we have done this Television does not convey.
No, we haven't done it. We've watched it. We haven't done it.
You're doing this.
Yeah, doing
But
this.
it's not like golf. You can't go to your favorite course and go down like they do.
No, no, no.
Good for Lindsey.
These people are crazy.
Bionic.
That's the final word. Let's take one last break. Still to come, the Clippers forget how to inbound the ball at a critical juncture.
He's standing right there. And whose weekend return from injury would be bigger, Steph's or Wemby's?
Well, Wemby's would be taller. We're certain of that. I don't know which would be bigger necessarily.
I tell you what, San Antonio pretty good without him.
What are you saying?
Nothing.
No.
They're gonna be